Oh, that didn't work. Check, 1, 2, 3. Oh. How's it going, everybody? So this is a little bit of an experiment that my wife and I are going to be doing. We both run a Etsy shop called Bright Harmony. I am also a working photographer. This is a client that I had recently, did some headshots for. She's running for political office, local school board, I think it is. You know, my wife and I have had a lot of ups and downs, not with each other, not in a relationship. Although, I mean, I suppose that's true too, just like anybody. But just as a family, financially, we have both come from two pretty different backgrounds as far as our careers go. She kind of bounced around. I think she worked at a storage unit place for a little while. She did a plant that does ice, like ready ice, or you go to the gas station, you get the bags of ice, stuff like that. But before we started doing what we're doing now, she worked in a pharmacy. She did that for a while. She liked it. She made really good money doing it. I've been all over the place. I've been in photo. I've been in video. That's what I went to school for. I got a degree, an associate's. I don't know if it was an Associate of Arts or Associate of Science, and to be honest with you, I'm not really sure what the difference is, because they're both 2-year degrees. Oh, hey, my computer did the thing where it goes to sleep, and it's my background. It was really rude. Don't do that. I worked in television for a little while. With Netflix and Hulu and the rise of all these streaming services, I saw that television was quickly, the landscape was changing, and I could either get out of that scenario or that scenario. Where am I getting these words from? I could either get out of that industry while I'm relatively young. I'm almost 40, so I realize I'm no spring chicken. But while I'm relatively young, or I could stay in that industry and possibly find myself 10 years from now without a job because my job has been replaced by something else, and then the only thing that I can go do is be a greeter at Walmart. So I left that industry and I bounced around for a little bit. I was a receptionist at a doctor's office. Hated that. I worked at a plant that makes pipes. Didn't like that a whole lot either. And most recently, regular job-wise, I worked for a very large credit union in their collections department. That sounds awful. A lot of people hear, oh, you worked in collections, you calling people all the time. It really wasn't as bad as it sounds, and I actually liked that job for 3 years of the 3.5 years that I did it. So what happened the last half a year that I was there? Well, because of because of the unknown virus of an unspecified origin, we were sent to work from home. And I liked that a lot. In fact, I got used to it. I decided I never wanted to go into an office ever again. It was too good. I did miss seeing my coworkers all the time. I made a lot of friends there. I'm still in contact with some of them. But in this, they moved me to a new team. And when they came to me about it, they acted like it was something I asked for, and it wasn't, because I actually really liked the team that I was on. And so I was a little upset that they were moving me, but it's not like this was the first time it had happened. It probably wasn't going to be the last time it happened, if I stayed there, that is. And so I decided to just make the best of it, and I got put on this new team. Well, this new team, the supervisors were based not where I'm based currently. They were based at the main headquarters, and I was used to working with people that actually lived around me. So the corporate culture was just very different working under them than it was working for the people that I was used to working for. I feel like Ricky Bobby, like I don't really know what to do with my hands, and so that's what that weirdness was. I remember one day asking for half a day off to go to a doctor's appointment. And this was normal. Like I'd done this, probably 4 or 5 times over the 3 years that I've been there. You just, hey, I need this time off. Is that cool? Yeah, it's cool. I don't really want to take a whole day. Can I just take half a day? Yeah. My new supervisor and assistant supervisor shoot me a message on their little internal messaging thing saying that they want to have a phone call with me. Okay, that's fine. And on this phone call, they acted like my asking for this time off was it was the equivalent of me asking them to grab hold of the planet and make it stop moving. That this was just a horrible inconvenience to them, that I wasn't being a team player, and I just was kind of dumbfounded by the whole thing. Like, is what even is this? So, they did whine even after making me feel like this was an impossible thing that I was asking them for. They wound up giving it to me. It was just it was silly, is really what it was. And so that night, when I got off of work, I go into the living room, and my wife was working from home at the time also. And I sat down on the couch next to her, and I said, I know this is going to make me sound arrogant. We are both way too smart to be taking orders from other people. And I don't want to do this anymore. I want us to work for ourselves. We've been married for a little while, and we had always talked about how we wanted to be our own bosses. We didn't want to just settle for having other jobs. Now, this credit union job that I got was actually, up to this point, it was so good that I kind of thought that maybe I would just stay there and retire as an employee of that place. So, those change, plans change as they do. But I told her, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want us to work for ourselves. And she's like, you're crazy. You have great benefits. You get this bonus every single year. Your health insurance is amazing. Like, we'd never had health insurance like this before. It was just incredible. And I'm like, yeah, I want to do it. And she's like, well, okay, like, come up with a plan. Let's talk about it later. Well, some time goes on, and then she starts having problems with her boss. Not really the same thing, and if she wants to share that with you, she can do that in her videos, and I'll explain more about that a little bit later. But eventually, okay, well, let's do this. So to start off with, I started doing Uber and DoorDash and Lyft and all that stuff, and in the town that I live in the summer, we have a really big tourist season. And so I was doing really, really well. So we're like, okay, we can make a go of this. Let's do it. So I put in my 2 weeks, quit my job. I started doing that. I got a job as a DJ with a local DJ company here in the area. I started contracting for photography, and that was working for a while. But anybody who's done Uber or Lyft and DoorDash knows there's a lot of wear and tear on your car. And currently, my car is in the shop, because I put about 1,000 miles a week on it. It's pretty crazy. I make good money doing it, and I'll talk more about my experience as an Uber driver probably in a later video. But we decided, like, okay, we're not going to be able to rely on Uber and Lyft and DoorDash forever. We have to have something else, something that is going to create wealth. Not just for us, but for our kids, and hopefully for our kids' kids. So we opened an Etsy shop. This was not the original Etsy shop here. Actually, I have a business card for the original name right here. It was called, hopefully I've got that in frame. It was called Kakariko Creations. We specialized in video game stuff, but if you've ever been on Etsy, there's video game stuff all over the place. So we've actually pivoted. We'll I don't want to give away everything in this first video. I gotta give you a reason to come back, right? So right now we do this where we do T-shirts, we do tumblers, we do this coffee mugs. I made this coffee mug. This is where we go to church. It says, "Guys love 1 John 4:8." There on the back. The pastor, he's a graphic designer, kind of on the sides. He designed this. Also, we are the ones who made this shirt. Hopefully you can see it. But that's the kind of thing that we do. So we do shirts for individuals. We do it for companies, and this business is starting to grow. And then last November, I decided that I wanted to start doing the photography stuff on my own. I have a camera. Right now, I still a lot of my photography money is coming from these companies that I contract with, and so I'm having to split the money with them. But the goal is to be self-sufficient in that and to not have to rely on that so much. We're building up our businesses, and as we've been doing this, I've been doing a lot of research, a lot of watching YouTube videos, following people on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like, okay, well, how do you do this and how do you do that? And one thing that has been frustrating for me as someone who's in the position that I'm in right now, I'm not dirt poor. I have this house that I'm in, I own. It needs some work. You see, there's a cut in the wall back there that I haven't dealt with yet. But yeah, I'm not particularly wealthy. I am living paycheck to paycheck. I also live in a city, a metropolitan area of like 5, 6, 700,000 people. And so when I get on YouTube or Rumble or wherever it is that I'm looking for this stuff, and I get this, how to get your first 10 clients, and they live in Houston. Houston has, let's just, right here. How population of Houston. 2.2 million. There's almost 3 times as many people just in the city of Houston than there are in the entire area that I live in. So that's I live outside of Pensacola. So Pensacola, Santa Rosa County, that's it. I mean, if you counted Mobile, Alabama, we'd get closer. We'd probably get quite a bit closer to that number. But Mobile's an hour away. I don't do a lot of business in Mobile. Really, my area, there's somewhere between 5 and 700,000 people living here. And so when I'm getting advice from these people who they live in these big cities, and it's like, okay, I'll go try that, and I have been trying that, and I'm not trying to say that it doesn't work, because it does work, but in a big city like Houston, it's probably easy to walk outside your office and trip over clients because there's just so many people. That's not happening here. Also, the area of the country that I live in, we think about money differently. Someone in Houston or Los Angeles or New York, when a photographer comes up and says, hey, let me give you a headshot, it's $300, it's an investment in your future, they're like, yes, absolutely, let's do that. When I'm talking to somebody here, hey, would you spend $150 on a headshot? Unless they're got political aspiration, that's a hard sell for them, because they think like, well, I just filled out an application at the UPS store down the street, and I got an interview and I got a job. Like, what do I need this big expensive headshot for? And not gonna lie, I understand where they're coming from. If that's what you want to do, no, you don't need an expensive headshot. So it's a different world that I'm operating in and trying to make this work. So my thought, when I sat my wife down to tell her that I wanted to start this YouTube channel to run alongside our 2 businesses, my thought here was, I want to relate to people that are in similar situations to us. I want the person that lives in Podunk, Louisiana to come across my video and go, oh, hey, I'm in a similar situation to that guy, and, maybe be inspired by it. Now, I'm not looking to give advice, at least not yet. It's like, you get these people that give marriage advice, and they're on their 5th marriage. Clearly they don't know what they're doing. So I'm not sitting here. You're not going to come back to this channel and find a whole bunch of advice videos on how to get photography clients or on how to sell Etsy. This is more of a documentary style thing. This is more of a, hey, this is just a record keeping. And that was another thing that was sort of behind my desire to do this, was I want to be able to see where I was when I first started, in September 2023, and I guess technically I started back in November of 2022, but this is when I started making the record. I want to see that, and then I want to see where I am in 6 months. I want to see where I am in 12 months. I want to see where I am in 24 months, in 4 years, in 5 years, and I'm gonna flash up a picture of a. I should have brought it in here, but I'm gonna flash up on the screen a picture of a vision board that my wife and I made, and as we're ticking off things on this vision board of, hey, this is a thing that we accomplished. We met this goal of being out of this debt. We met this goal of having this much money in our bank account. You're going to be able to track along with that. Obviously, I'm not going to show you my bank statements, so I'm not a psychopath. But that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about here. It's just a document, a journal, if you will, a vlog, as the hip kids call it, of this journey and of this experience. And hopefully, if you've come across this video series, there's a couple of things that I hope happen here. I hope that you're inspired to, like, hey, maybe this is a little kick in the seat of my pants, that I need to actually go out and do this thing that I've been talking about doing for a while also. And that you'll also see that you can be successful doing these things that you want to do, even though you don't live in a big city. Now, of course, if in 5 years this whole thing has come crashing and burning because it didn't work, well, then maybe it'll be a cautionary tale that you don't need to do this. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. We're thinking positive. We're going to meet these goals. We are going to create the wealth for my family and for our future generations that we want to, and I really want you to be able to do that too. Also, if you see this and you think to yourself like, hey, there's a product that these guys sell that I need, I could go buy it at Walmart or some other faceless corporation, or I could buy it from these guys and hopefully help them achieve their dreams. So yeah, that's that. I don't have any idea if I told you what my name was at the beginning of this. My name's Patrick. I run Above Par Photography and Bright Harmony, and now this YouTube channel. In the next video, you're gonna meet my wife. She'll introduce herself, and then if you're looking for what you can expect from this channel, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we're gonna upload a new video. Monday is gonna be just me and you, me and the camera. We're gonna be talking. On Wednesday, it's just gonna be her and the camera, and then on Friday we're gonna come together and we're just gonna talk to each other. We're gonna be like, hey, how's this going? How are you doing with your eating goals, your exercise goals, all that stuff. I know I spent a lot of time talking about our businesses, but I don't know if you could tell from this, but I need to lose some weight. So I've been exercising more. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about like what I've been doing to try and lose weight, to build up some muscle mass and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just this. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you'll come along for the ride, and that you'll get something out of it. And maybe you'll buy something too. So that's gonna do it for me. Come back on Wednesday for the video from my wife. And yeah, if you like what you see, like and subscribe, and we'll see you around. Thanks.